Welcome to English with Teacher Dixon, highly esteemed learners. Let's dive into the rules of Concord in English language. This particular topic is very important as long as the structure of English language is concerned, particularly the sentence structure. Before you can use your expressions correctly, you must be versed with the rules of Concord. First, let's consider the definition of concord. The concept of concord refers to the agreement or harmony that exists among the constituents of a sentence. So just like human beings cannot work together except they agree, words or different constituents of a sentence cannot coexist or cannot go together except there is harmony. Thus, the concept of concord entails that there must be agreement between the different constituents of a sentence. Now the question is, what are the constituents of a sentence? The constituents of a sentence are the different parts of a sentence. Any sentence is made up of the subject and the predicates. The subject is one constituent, while the predicate is another constituent. However, the predicate can be made up of several other constituents. Like we can have the verb, we can have the object, as well as the adjunct inside the predicate. Now let's consider this sentence example. The students wrote their examination diligently. In that example, the student is the subject, and the other part of the statement apart from the subject is the predicate. Hence, wrote the examination diligently is the predicate. Now, within the predicate, we have the verb, which is the mandatory item in the predicate, and that is wrote. Then we have the examination as the object of the sentence, and also diligently as the adjunct. So in a sentence, we can have the subject, the verb, the object, the adjunct, and sometimes the complement. So these are all considered as constituents of a sentence. Hence, the rule of concord says that there must be agreement or harmony among these constituents of a sentence. Having established this, let's go straight into the first rule of concord. The first rule of concord is subject-verb concord. Subject-verb concord entails that there must be agreement or harmony between the subject of the sentence and the verb. And this agreement is always based on the concept of number and person. So there must be agreement between the subject and the verb in terms of number and person. Now, what do we mean by number in English language? In English language, we have two numbers, plurality and singularity. So it is either the subject is singular or it is plural. Likewise, the verb. It is either the verb in a sentence is singular or plural. Thus, this rule states that if the subject of the sentence is singular, the verb must also be singular. And if the subject is plural, the verb must be plural. Hence, you cannot take a singular verb with a plural subject. You can't take a plural verb with a singular subject. There must be agreement between the two. But the problem is always in how to identify a singular subject and then a singular verb, or a plural subject and a plural verb. Having known that the concept of number has to do with whether it is singular or plural, we should note the different singular forms of nouns. In the concept of plurality in English language, all the nouns with the plural marker "is", that's the "a" suffix at the end of the word, are plural. So any plural noun has the "a" suffix at the end, whereas the singular nouns are without the "a" suffix, are in their base form. Hence, we have chairs, tables, markers, chalks, pens, books as plural nouns. However, book, pen, table, marker, and so on are singular nouns because they don't have the "a" suffix at the end. But that is considering number based on nouns. We also have number in verbs, and this is where students normally get it twisted. There's difference between singular nouns and singular verb. Likewise, there is difference between plural nouns and plural verbs. For verbs, the reverse is the case. That's the case we have in nouns. The singular verbs go with the suffix "s", whereas the plural verbs are in their base form. Thus, if we have verbs like come, talk, see, work, go, they are all plural verbs. And then verbs like comes, sees, goes, talks, works are singular verbs. Hence, when you use as a singular subject, it must go with one of these singular verbs. For instance, the boy comes, or the boy talks. So talks here is a singular verb, while the boy is a singular noun. But if you have the boys, the verb will be in its base form. For instance, the boys come to school every day. Boy, the boys is the subject of the sentence, whereas go is the verb. The girls work diligently. Girls is the subject, then work is the verb. Hence, a singular subject goes with a singular verb, and a plural subject goes with a plural verb. Take note of this. This is just the introduction to this topic. The major issue is always the ability to identify the subject of a sentence in different sentence structures in English language. If this lesson is helpful in any way, please like the video, comment on it, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. I remain Teacher Dixon.